Okay, oh, hang on here. There, I had to get something out. Okay, welcome. This is the first class on the Family Book Creators, the preferences and settings. Most of you, this is a plugin. It only works with Family Tree Maker. Uh, and I will apologize right now because uh, I created some sample books, but I did it from a different tree. But I realized just since it's going to be being recorded, the books are fine, but you know, I'm the tree I was using to create those books probably wouldn't be such a good thing just to go zipping around in. Uh, so you'll see I've got the Kennedy family here, and it's a different family that I was working on. But anyway, I was deciding what one to start with. So I figured, well, the first screen to start, best screen to start with, is probably the screen that comes up right when you first launch Family Book Creator. So this is coming up. We're going to be covering two tabs today, uh, and they're all in the book items, and that's going to be this individuals to include and just give me 1 second, and this options tab right here. In this options one, you can see there's a lot of sections on it. So the individuals to include, the first item is what type of book do you want to do? There's alphabetical family register where it will literally list everyone in your tree in order, in alphabetical order. Uh, I mean, that would literally print everyone in your tree. It will also, this could be handy if you do like a one name study or just ways of checking all your data in the tree. Uh, the other one is like doing an ancestors book. So it'll start from your start person, and the start person is you can either select it in the list or usually it's whoever you were on. So here I was on John F. Kennedy when I launched. Uh, it's just generally easier to just be on that person in Family Tree Maker when you launch it. The other books are like Descendants. So that's just it. It'll be your Descendants. Or you can do a relatives book. Uh, and relatives it kind of starts with you and then it'll cover your parents, your children, and then it will spiral out to it'll get your siblings and then your aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, cousins. Uh, but let's just uh, alphabetical. There's no options down here because it is literally everyone. Ancestors, generally, if you're doing a book, you're going to do all generations, but you can just tell it, I only want, generation 0 through 2, 3, you maybe only want so many generations. When you're first starting out, you may want to like limit it because these books can be hundreds, if not thousands of pages long if you have it include everyone. But and likewise can take many minutes to generate. I mean, my one book I do takes about 15 minutes to generate. Well, if you want to tweak one setting and see how's that going to look, you don't necessarily want to wait 15 minutes. You just do it for a few generations, and then you'll see, how it can come out. Uh, Same thing with Descendants. Now, the Relatives book, uh, it's all about how many degrees of separation. And now they'll be starting with using civil law or canon law. Canon law is how far you go up to your common ancestor. So, for instance, your sibling. canon law would be one step, because your parents are your common ancestor. Using civil law is how many steps you have to go. So it goes a step up to your parents, and then goes a step back down to your siblings. So they're actually two steps away. And it's all depends upon how they're grouped together. Um, Civil law, you're going to have more sections. Canon law, you're going to have fewer sections because it's just how far up to your common ancestor. Uh, and now, then it's going to ask now, who do you want family sections for? There's usually all individuals, individuals with children, children or spouse, or only living individuals. Uh, the whole section for who gets a family section is if you got someone who wants their all their media to print, they have to have a family section. Uh, Otherwise, if they're just listed with their parents, the only photo that's going to print is their profile photo. So that's just something to consider. Uh, but like I said, the more family sections, the bigger your book is going to be. Uh, and now, depending upon certain settings, this single sections per relationship. What this does is if you have, say, someone that was married more than once, it will have a separate section for each marriage. Uh, if you don't have that checked, it's only going to do the preferred marriage. It will still list the other ones, but it's only going to do the family tree chart for the preferred spouse. Um, and then these are kind of self-evident. If you say only want to include biological parents, only the preferred partner, and if you notice, if you click that include preferred partner, this use single sections per relationship is ghosted out. You can't change it. And then likewise, if you only want to list biological children. One other thing that can affect this right here, I won't be covering this exact thing, but if, no, no, wait, let me go back to a Descendants book. Yeah, if you have that organized by family, you can't adjust this because by default, they're going to have a single section per relationship. Uh, if if it's organized by generation, then you can select that. Um, and now this one section is include details about children. What this does is this is the details about children. So here's in the family section, it lists, okay, the couple's name, and then it will list, okay, and here are their children and any possible details about them. Now, if you check, okay, I don't want that details about children, then you're still going to get this, but then they literally won't list their children. They're going to be listed in the next sections. So basically, that's what that tab does. We have any questions about this tab before I move on to the options?
Hello. Yes.
Okay.
John, uh, can you go over the relations on the civil uh, law and the common law again?
Oh, sure. Uh, Canon law goes just up to your it's all about degrees of separation. Canon law only goes up to your common ancestor. So it's like, so your parents are going to be a one step removed. Your first cousins, you have to go up to your grandparents, so they're two steps removed. If you go civil law, it goes every step, so it's like your parents are still one step away, whether in canon or civil, but like say your siblings, a civil law is going to be a second step because you have to go one step up to your parents, then one step down to your sibling. For first cousin, you'd be like four steps away because it's like you'd go one step up to your parents, another step up to your grandparents, then it'd be a step down to your aunt or uncle, and then a step down to your cousin.
Okay.
So that's four steps. Canon law would only be two steps because it just goes up to your common ancestor.
Okay.
So, and I believe that is also described in the uh, manual. And then, I mean, otherwise, it's Google like canon civil, genealogy, and there's lots of information on that.
Okay. Yeah, I've tried to Google it, but I really can't make heads or tails out of it. I'm still kind of new to this.
Yeah, yeah. Canon is just up to your common ancestor, and civil, it's how many steps you literally have to go to, how many people you have to go through to get to that person.
Okay.
So, so like if you look at like a descendants chart, it's like, okay, how many people up and down do you have to go? Where with canon, you just have to count how many positions up you go. I'd have to
John,
double check to see how that goes with like cousins once removed or something, um, but in a nutshell, that's it. Canon law is going to have more groups of people lumped together. Um,
mm,
So,
so
John,
yeah.
do you then have to go back out of FBC to Family Tree Maker to choose a different person for for nailing down the first of those two people you're comparing?
Well, I'm not sure what you mean by comparing. I mean, you select the person that's because it's all about who you want to be the starting person of the book.
So you have to go back
So,
out. You have to go
so
back into Family Tree Maker alone to get that starting person. That's what I'm wondering.
well, no, because you can select it right from here. Because you can say, hey, I want uh, Patrick Kennedy. You can select the person from here. If you want.
Isn't that the second person though you're comparing to?
Well, I'm not sure what you mean by for comparing, because I mean, if you're talking on the cousins chart, I mean, this isn't about showing the relationship between the two people.
Okay.
I mean, this is all about selecting who you want the book to start from.
so you're talking about the initial starting point of your
Yeah,
book.
it's like, okay, yeah, it's like you just be on the person. So since I'm on John F. Kennedy, when I launch, this is the person who it will default to creating the book for. But like I said, if you want to,
But you can change that if
yeah,
you want to change individuals.
yeah, because like I said, if I wanted his father, who I think is this one, or no, maybe it's that one, or no, that's,
When it populates, will it bring in everyone that's in the list and put it in the tree or in the
well, it pulls it all, and it all depends upon what book. If you're doing an ancestors book, like
yes.
right now, I've got Patrick Joseph Kennedy selected, so it's going to take all of his ancestors.
Okay,
If
going
I
forward.
if I do a descendants book, it's going to do all of his descendants. Well, I've got only generation 0 through 2 selected, so it'd only do that. If I say all generation, it'll pull all of his descendants. If I do relatives and I've got all degrees, then it's going to pull all of his aunts,
When
uncles, cousins, first cousins, second cousins, everyone that's in your tree that's related to them.
so what is all degrees?
All degrees means it's going to grab everyone,
Okay,
everyone that's related to them.
and up to that certain generation that you've clicked on there to
Well,
go.
at all degrees, it's going to grab everyone. I mean, depending on your thing, if you got 10th cousins in your tree, it's going to grab your 10th cousins.
I
Now, if
see.
you say, oh, I only want 3 degrees, now with civil law, it's only going to go up, it's not going to pick that many people because it's only going to be people that are like 3 steps away from you. So, I mean, it'd grab your grandparents, but it probably wouldn't grab any of your grand aunt or uncles, you know. And it
Okay,
probably wouldn't even grab your first cousins because that would be 4 steps. Now, if you do canon law, that's going to go up to your great grandparents and down to your uh, great grandchildren, you know, and basically everyone in between your first cousins, second cousins, and
I guess I had it backwards. I guess I was thinking that the canon law shortened it opposed to the civil law. I thought civil law would pull in everyone under that particular section.
Yeah, that was my understanding too. I thought that was what you said initially.
canon law, there's going to be more different groups of people lumped together. So with canon law, you're going to have fewer sections because more people are going to be grouped together.
I guess,
Civil law, there's going to be a lot more sections. And like I said, when you're only doing certain degrees, uh, it
mhm.
it with civil law, it's going to be fewer people. Canon law, if you're talking all degrees, it's going to be the same amount of people, no matter whether you use civil law or canon law.
Oh, is that right?
At
So,
all degrees, it's going to grab everyone, regardless of how you do it. With civil law, there's going to be more sections because there's going to be less people in each section. Canon
say if
law
you,
is going to have the same number of people with all degrees, but there's going to be more of them grouped together.
so then you can start out with either civil law or canon law and switch back and forth. Is that right? As you go? Or do you have to
Well,
choose
no,
one
you
or
can
the
switch
other?
them back. I mean, you just have to regenerate the book.
I see. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Okay.
So John, when you select degrees, say you select 3 degrees,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that means that a fourth cousin will not be in the book.
Fourth cousin, no, will not be in the book, not at 3 degrees.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah, that answers my question. Thank you.
Yeah. And like I said, typically when you do a book, you're gonna want to do all degrees, or at least you're gonna want more degrees. Typically, you're gonna limit the degrees. It's like when you're doing trial runs of your book, just to see uh, how all the data looks in your tree.
So
Because
when you say trial runs, you're meaning that you print that out, or do you see it only on the screen?
your choice. I mean, it only Family Book Creator only creates a digital file. It will create a PDF or a Word document.
I see.
So you'll see it
John,
on screen, and from there you can print it out if you want. Some people prefer to, I want to sit on the couch and look at it, print it out. I mean,
John,
that's your choice.
Thank
John,
you.
there's a move on chat that we move on. There's a suggestion that questions are held till the end so that we don't get caught spending a lot of time on one thing and not get to everything that you have planned.
Yeah, we can do that. So yeah, let's go on to options because that is a lot of, there's a lot of stuff in here. This first thing is on create family headings. And yeah, let me, because with the family headings, no, let me just go here. You'll see family starting person, family of, this is the person. Now with the family headings, it basically does not give this family of, it basically eliminates that line. So that's what that setting changes. Name of male in front, because by default, what it will do is it will list it will list the children, and let me just get this up. Yeah, because let me go, like, say here to Inga. Uh, Jumping. Yeah, because see now, typically on here, see, I'll say family of Inga, Marie, and Jens. Now, if I go with name of the male in front, if I go here to where did Inga go? Well, basically, all it would say is it's going to put Jens first. It'd say family of Jens Steiberg and Inga Marie Samuel's daughter. Even though Inga she's the blood relationship, and Jens here is the one that married in. It would always list the male's name first. So some people prefer that. So that's what that option does. Create plain text and do not use tables. This can sometimes make things a little bit easier editing in Word. Not drastically as far as my personal preference, but the one side effect of create plain text and do not use tables is you can see right here, where it lists the people, you can have their profile picture to the side. If you tell it you're going to use plain text, that is no longer an option. That's the one thing you'll lose is you cannot print the profile photos to the next like it was here. So it is a trade-off. If you don't care about the profile photos there, then that setting will have no effect on you. Create hyperlinks. Now this will make no difference to an actual printed book. But if you put it in like a PDF format, that it will. For instance, well, like here in the on the families of descendants, it's like, oh, I want to go to Inga. So I just click on that, then boom, there I am. So, and actually, no, yeah, see, I must have did a different book here. So that's what the hyperlinks do, is it lets you jump quickly between the to sections. And then that can also go into a play down here in the index too. But
Is that like a bookmark?
Yeah, sort of. It's like you just click on it and it'll just jump you right to it. So yeah, it's, so rather than say, oh, I got to scroll down to page 28, you can just click on it and it'll take you to page 28. So
you go back to the index if you want to jump around.
yeah.
Okay.
And now the partner sections here, let's see, is this based on books? Da, da, da.
Oh, it can't follow you.
What?
Okay, I'm just trying to think. Stefan, do you what is causing the show note number of children to not be to be ghosted out?
Hi, John, and hello, everybody. You did not select to create a section for the children. So on your Individuals to Include tab, you need to click on the lower right, Include Details about children. Just go down. No.
Down.
Down on the dialog.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, show number of children. I mean, that will just let's see. It's on here, it basically said let's go up here. And basically it'll put in this line they had, well, in this case, 9 children. And that's a nice thing to say. And just so you know, it says when she was minus 73 years old. I found a typo. I had it. She was born in 1930 and instead of the 1830. So that's one thing. Family Book Career can help you find little mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, this is what it will do. Is it will say they had 9 children. If you don't do that, then boom, it's just like this. That sign that is missing. So there it says they had 9 children. The other next thing is list child's name, and then it'll then also the option of listing the time spans. And so basically that will just list, okay, they had 9 children, Ed Bard, and then that's with the time span. If you tell it no time span, it'll just list, okay, the children Edward, Ivor, and Andres, Jens. So this would be a good option of doing this if you also told it, say, maybe if you say uncheck this, include details about children, possibly. Well, no, that wouldn't. So never mind. Forget I said that.
But the children are still listed. You select.
The children would be listed in the book as long as they had their own family section.
Okay.
So, and then show sentence if no children are known. That would just list a thing with let's see. I'm just trying to think of who has no known. Yeah, that one has a daughter.
You may just search for the string inside the document.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it'll say here they have no known children.
Oh,
So
wouldn't want that.
and then that way it's like, so if they don't have any children listed, it's like, okay, yep, they have no known children. If you uncheck it, that sentence would just be gone. So, and then identify same-sex couples. That again would just do a this is this don't read into it on the age. I just threw it in to be a test, where it's like two males, you just say that they are a same-sex couple. Now, if you had any, now in this person, I just put in a name to be deleted test only. I put them as male, but I didn't have any other details. Now, if they were married, it would say something, like let's just go up. If Sam and Martha, assuming, well, say Sam was actually Samantha, or something. It does mention, if you have the details, if this is Samantha, it would say she was, the daughter of, so it would say it in the terminology. I mean, it wouldn't just be his forefront, but basically adding that identify same sex would just throw in that wording. It's a same sex couple. Now for fact notes, you can replace new lines. Let me just clear out some of these. As I created some. I create well, here, I'll just do this way. No, oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so here I put in the person and I actually put in blanks, on the thing. This is a birth fact, no.
Mm.
And now this was not replacing anything. This was just using with this unchecked. And then you got the option of doing it with spaces, commas, semicolons. Now normally
what
you're
does replace new lines actually mean? What new lines do they mean, and what do they mean by replace?
Well, a new line is a carriage return. So I literally entered this note in as like this. This is a birth fact note with a carriage return between each one. So this is how that printed with that. Usually what you'll do this for is like, say, if you got like paragraphs and then there's carriage returns in between. Basically with replace new with the unchecked, it's basically not going to touch that note at all. But like with anything, sometimes you can have some notes how their format, they could have multiple blank lines in, and it's all about saving space. If you tell it to place the fact note with the space, this is how this will come up. This is a birth fact note. This is a residence fact note. If we tell it to replace with a comma, it's going to show up like this. And like I said, this is going to be pertain to, where you've got, paragraphs of information and maybe with various extra carriage returns.
Okay, I'm not complete. I understand conceptually that I think
Yeah.
that you're talking about the difference between having a full narrative as opposed to a list of facts. Is that the
Well, no,
big picture?
this
No?
is literally like in the person here. I literally had a fact note. It was um let me just go to someone like this. I literally typed in this.
Right.
So yeah, it's like why you wouldn't enter this like this, but it's like if you've got paragraphs of stuff, sometimes, I've seen stuff, where, there's like a ton of like blank lines there, and you could have, stuff like that, basically it would clean that all up. And because I've seen like numerous people say, well, I sent this note and then there's like half a page of blank lines. And I said, well, check your fact note, make sure you don't have uh, a bunch of leading blank lines. So,
So, John, we've been broken up a bit. I'm a bit confused. When you to get it the vertical way, which makes a separate paragraphs, which I don't like, is that when you click replace new lines with spaces, or is that when you leave replace new lines with spaces blank?
well, I mean, it boils down to if you don't want Family Book Creator to touch fact notes, and it only applies to fact notes and not person notes, you leave that unchecked. If you do want it to, then you could just say, have it with spaces, commas, semicolons. And like I said, the commas, semicolons could be, like I said, if you've got like a list of items in it.
Okay, so if I leave it blank, it's going to be printed in one horizontal line, fact by fact by fact.
It's good if you leave it to replace new lines, yeah, it's gonna basically get rid of all the carriage returns. So it'll be like
Okay,
one
so I
long
do have
line.
to check replace new lines. If I want it as small as possible and I don't want a list, I do click replace new lines with spaces.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. I'm trying to change these options as we're in this meeting.
Yep. Okay, now the place options, try to shorten place names. Let's see here. Because if let me see if this was a good one. Idaho. Actually, I think if I go down here, this will be better. Basically, it went. No, let me just. Okay, so like here we got Sam here. He was born in Steigen, Nordland, Norway. Uh, and now Martha was born in Leland, Nordland, Norway. Now, see, this is where I'm telling it not to shorten the place names. Now, if I do, use short place names, yeah. Not, okay, I'm sorry. I had a different, use short place names. This was on here. Okay, hang on. No, that's a different one. Oh, that was okay. I told, yeah, that's right. I've got to go back to this first one. And it says, okay, yeah, Simon died in Steigen. But then here it says, see here, Martha was born in Lilland because the rest of the previous name was the same. What's this? So that these are all on it. Because it was Lilland, Nordland, Norway. So it's like if you're dealing with a family where it's all in the same thing, say they're all born in one state, country, you know, it will leave that out. But if you tell it to not shorten the place names, then it will always spell out the place names. And then it would only do the full place name if the place changed, because like here it says, okay, here he is born in Idaho. Okay, this one, he was born in Steigen, Norland, because, well, the Norway was eliminated, you know. So it's like that. It takes into account, you know, the previous name places that were used. So, but without it, you know, then it will always spell it out. Okay, Idaho. Here he is born in Steigen, Norland, Norway. So, and then if you tell it, say, use shortened defined place names, let's just say, okay, you like having the names resolved, but you don't, just for readability, if you don't like those ones, you can put in, where did I do that? Oh, yeah. So like this one here is like I put in this in the place name, and you do this in Family Tree Maker. Let me just get out of here. Go to the Places tab, and then for basically any place here, you can put in a short place name here. So if you just want that, say just list as Atoll, Scotland. Or usually like when it comes to the states, you know, rather than saying, say if this is in South Dakota, USA, you know, you could just put in the abbreviation SD. And that's what I did here. I put in the McVille, that's in North Dakota. I put this in Vivian Lundby. You know, rather than here, McVille, Nelson, North Dakota, USA. So it's like if this is like the resolve place name in Family Tree Maker, but if you don't want it, if you prefer to do this, you can go through the place name database in Family Tree Maker and put in short place names, and then it can use that.
Now do I read?
Here now. And Dorians have no short place name is listed. It eliminates country and state. No, it prints the full place name then, if no short place name is included. Use place details always as place segments. What this one does, this is if you do custom resolve place names, because like me, I like putting the cemetery names in. I like putting the place names in uh, the database, or the cemetery names in the place field. And come on. Yeah, no use place details. Yeah. Actually, this is the one I did. Okay, because I just put in a thing, cemetery name that was in Norway, Nordlandsteigen. With this unchecked, you need that check to get those extra resolved place names in there, like that's the cemetery name. With it unchecked, that was Norway, Nordland. See, it doesn't show up there. You'll see these extra spots here because you'll actually see a gap here because these are custom resolved place names. They don't have the actual thing, but they'll just show up under Norway, Nordlandsteigen. Where this way, by telling it to always use the place details as a place segment, every place then will be listed. And then this can be, yeah, bogey. This was the other resolved place name. Because then this will be handy because then with the cemetery name, you could see a list of everyone buried at a certain cemetery in the book. But that's what that segment does. Also, like the supported facts, list all facts, all this stuff only applies to when this items to include or it lists the facts. And like I said, we'll be covering this at a later date as to what all these settings do. But if you tell it to list all facts, it will do just that, list all facts. Even though those facts may not be listed in your book, but it will list every fact in that that's in your tree, whether it's used or not. Options, that's kind of option if it use alphabetical order or not. Otherwise, then it's just the order in which they are, so it's like me personally, I don't know why you wouldn't ever not want it to use alphabetical order. And then like doing a list currently used fact types, because then this will only list the options of like, okay, these are the facts that are actually used in this tree. So that's your only options. And then if you're an LDS member, you can tell it to show the LDS facts. I'm not using them, but then you'll see them like baptism LDS because they've got their own special attributes and confirmation. If you're not an LDS church member, you don't even have to worry about that. So, and lastly, like header or footer, if you want it to include or not, it's either include at section or omit at section start. All this is the sections. Let's see. Here's like a section start where it says, okay, here's the descendant. That's the header. Without it, on the first page of that section, there is no header. This, Yeah, this is a new section, families of his descendants. So that's the new section. But see, then on the subsequent pages, the header will appear. Otherwise, they are on. Not sure anything like getting in the way. Otherwise, it's there on every odd page. So that just omits it from the section start. And now on page numbers, Arabic numerals, that's the normal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got the option using Roman numerals, uppercase, lowercase, and whether or not to restart. Because what you can do is, like, say on these ones, if say you like a standard books, all this introduction stuff that have like Roman numerals. So you can have Roman numerals for these, but then on the main page, you say, okay, now I want to use Arabic numerals, but restart the count at page 1. If you didn't do this and say you left Arabic and continuous, then you just get your standard. Like I said, there's those don't have the page numbers on them. But here, see, we start, okay, there's page 7, page 8, page 9, 10, 11, Now, if you do that with the reset, here, see, I had, okay, here's the Roman numerals, 3, 4, 5. Nine, but then okay, the first page number doesn't have it, but then boom, here we are, page 2. So that's basically what that section does. Whether or not you want to reset at page 1, and if you'd want to use the Roman numerals up here, so and then likewise, once you get all your settings, you'll hit create document. And then likewise, you may be part way into it and realized, oh no, I forgot to check this one setting. You can always cancel. So you can start creating a book. It'll ask for a name. And you can even select the file type you want it. But if you get so far, it's like, oh, I forgot something, you can always cancel. So you don't have to wait for it to generate the book. So,
But
well, those
to,
are the 2 tabs I plan on covering. So, you're just looking over here. Gene had asked, why are there blank pages again? A lot of that goes for, and that's not on this tab. That's where it's like if you select mirror margins, and you can usually tell it to start on an odd page. If you look at, like, if you take an actual book, you'll see most sections start on an odd page number. Well, then that's why there'd be blank pages. So, and there's a FAQ on the FBC website that explains why there's blank pages at times. So, yeah, Charlene mentioned the stuff about the section. So, birth fact, okay, I think we covered that. Do the fact notes automatically print out? Can you exclude them? Yes, you can. And that will be on a different thing. That's when we'll be getting into the items to include.
John,
Yeah.
how about showing them where on the Family Book Creator website are the most frequently asked questions?
Oh, sure. Because on let me share my other screen here. Yeah, so if you go to the Family Book Creator website, just familybookcreator.com, go to support, and then frequently asked questions. And then you can search, I believe it's empty. Why are there empty pages inside my document?
Right.
So, but you know, this is a good thing to check because this covers a lot of things. You know, if you're having trouble, you know, installing the plugin or updating, and you know, there's lots of good information on there. So,
John,
yeah,
how are you going to number these classes on the recording?
I'm
And
just going to number them 1 through 9 probably.
okay.
And then
And
I'll list in the description, you know, what tabs I'm covering.
okay, and the date.
Yeah, the date and
Okay. And then I guess my next question would be, um, mm, I've just drawn a blank. Sorry about that.
yeah.
So John, build 1700 is the current right now.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, William?
Yeah, build 1700 is the current version.
Yeah, 1700 is the current version for the Windows version. Mac, it's build 830. And these screens are almost identical. I don't think there's any functional difference between the two. I mean, so yeah, and likewise in the Family Book Creator group, Stefan is always posts when there's a new update. Um,
Now, is that a Facebook page?
yeah, that's in the Facebook group. Yeah, because that's just the Family Book Creator users group. And Stefan, like right now, usually his is the pinned ones, but you know, he's in the featured posts, he's no, he lists the build 1700, you know, and then he also lists then the Mac version. There's two of them, you know, so the 830. And it gives, there's the change history. So you can see exactly what has changed. On the Windows. And then he also gives a download section. And I can't stress enough, if you go to the download section, okay, you select, okay, which version, you know, so in Windows, download this user's guide. This is, and if nothing else, print out the 2-page appendix. Hang on. That's sharing screen 1. Yeah, because this is very well done, and but like this appendix, and we won't get into so much what each of these media categories and packs do, but I do highly recommend that you print out these 2 pages because these are custom medium categories that Family Book Creator can do special things with. Here it gives a brief description and then the page number on where to read up more about it, and the same thing with some of these back types.
Mhm.
And likewise, these are all hyperlinked too, so it's like click on the page number and it will take you right there. So
Can you send us the link again for where these are stored. Is it, because it's under the users group. Is that correct? For the link to go to look at the, to review the class.
Oh, that's
The videos.
well, if you're on, oh, okay, yeah. So
Like you're gonna leave these so that we can get to them.
yeah, well, yeah. Also, here in the featured post here, if you scroll down,
Okay.
you should be seeing. Okay, there's the schedule.
Yeah.
There's Stefan's post. Oh, I guess I should remove those from the featured post because those are the old versions. But um, yeah. So here's one. Is this will leave it. Here's the link to the YouTube videos.
Okay. Thank you.
So
Okay. Gotcha.
so you just click on it and then yeah. So and they'll either be chart and companion family book creators,
Oh, great.
and they're listed, that the latest ones will be first for, and then you can follow the channel so you can even get notified when there's new videos and stuff if you want. So,
Okay.
and
Thank you.
so,
And, John, I'm running into a situation with in my facts where when I do like a sample book to after I do a family, in the facts notes, it gives like the town, the county, but it's leaving out the state. Like for example, it's got one of them is Bells Run, Ohio. If somebody don't know the area, they're going to think it's the state Ohio, but it's actually Ohio County. It should be Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
Leaving Kentucky out.
yeah. Well, if it's in a note, yeah, you'd probably just have to, clarify that, and that's why I like general genealogy is like try not to abbreviate, especially now with computers. It's like I can see when you're manually typing, you do that, but that's why I got in the habit of always entering in counties. If I only know the county and not the actual town, to actually put the word county.
Well, that's what I'm doing. In the place, I'm putting like Bells Run, Ohio, Kentucky, USA. And then I
Yeah,
put the description in there, but it's leaving the state out.
Hmm. Are you
but
limited on the number of characters?
it is leaving the state out
Yes.
in the note.
And when I do the create the book, it's not moving the state over to the book. I don't know how to explain it, but
Have
it's
you tried resolving place names to make sure it's entered correctly?
yes. And it's doing it for everybody that I do, everybody that I've created so far.
Okay, so it's not just wording in a fact note, it's for the place name for the fact.
Yes. When it's correct it's correct in Family Tree Maker, but it's not when I print when I create the book. The state gets left out.
Well, I'd probably make sure that under the place options, it's try to shorten place names is unchecked.
Let's see.
Hey, can you just look? Let's
Oh, for God's sake.
Because if
Okay, now yeah, I do have that checked.
yeah, uncheck that, and I think your problem will go away.
Okay,
So
I'll give it a shot.
no. So, are there any more questions? Otherwise, we'll wrap this up and I'll get the
Hey, John,
recording. Yeah.
just a suggestion. I use Adobe Photoshop to colorize all my ancestral black and white pictures.
but there's
Mhm.
also free AI programs out there that like Google Snapseed, PickWish, Colorizer that don't cost anything, and you just put your black and white picture in it, and it will colorize it for you. So it adds a little snap into the book you're producing if you do a full width ancestral picture of your third great grandfather that was always in black and white but is now in color.
No. So yeah, there's lots of useful tools.
Oh,
So,
Sharon,
never been so nearly.
Rosemary had asked about the download link. Okay, this is in the Family Book Creator Users Group. Go to the featured post section and then look for one of them from Stefan. Just click that see more, and then that first link is the download area link. You click on that, and then your version of Family Book Creator, and there's the user guide link right there.
Fine
So,
now. Let me tell
so. But and Bridget just want to know, what was that free colorization software again?
I just Googled it. There's a Google Snapseed, part of Google, I guess. I haven't used it. I'm an Adobe Photoshop user. But
Okay.
if you just Google AI programs for coloring or colorizer, you probably should get at least 3 or 4 different free websites that you can go to.
Yeah, and if your tree is on Ancestry, you can also colorize your photos there.
Yeah. So, okay, well, hopefully we'll see you next week, and I'm gonna call it quits because in about 50 minutes I've got to be at our local genealogy library. So,
Thank you very much.
yeah. So, take care, everyone, and we'll hope you got a lot out of this, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.